Association? Nothing to report. CSEA?
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening. My name is Lydia Hagar, and I'm the president of Robla, Chapter 285 of the classified employees of the district. And tonight I just want to say that we now have approved our sunshine proposal, so we are ready to negotiate with the district for next year, and we look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now move on to superintendent's report.
Good evening. Just a couple things, because we had 2 weeks of spring break, and I've never had 2 weeks of spring break before. But it was nice. START had a spring break program, and they held it at both Glenwood and Maine, and about 70 students participated every week. And they were really creative because the weather was creative during spring break. I went there to take pictures. And I was like, wow, I'm going to take pictures, and it's so gloomy, no one's going to know we're on spring break. And then during that time, we also had a nice food distribution, so I want to give another shout out to our child nutrition staff. We passed out 100 hot meals and 200, I'm going to call them sunshine boxes. I'm not sure what they call them here. We also had Terrific 10 this past Wednesday, which was yesterday, and President DeLuz was our guest speaker. And then today we had representatives from CDE, the literacy co-directors, William McGee and Bonnie Garcia, visit Taylor Street's after-school program looking at our Freedom School. Thank you.
One thing to report now is I had the opportunity to attend Terrific 10 this past week. And I will say that the food was phenomenal. I might have to be at Terrific 10 every month. It was really good. I gotta tell you, it was really good. And the kids were phenomenal as well. Found out they really like talking about pets. They were very excited. Anyway, they were very excited to be there. Thank you, Ms. Run, for all that Local Education Foundation does to help us put that on. And with that, we're going to move on to recognitions. Now, as I said, these resolutions we're going to read, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to pass them tonight because we don't have a quorum. And I will ask you, please forgive me. My voice is a little challenged today, but I will give it a whirl. We're going to start with Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is celebrated in the United States during the month of May to honor the contributions, achievements, and cultural heritage of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States. Whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders have enriched our nation's history and have played a vital role in shaping our society through their contributions in various fields, including but not limited to science, arts, literature, technology, politics, and business. Whereas we acknowledge these Americans for their vast contributions to the growth of our district, our community, our state, and the nation in the areas of education, government, agriculture, business, literature, science, the military, medicine, and the fine arts. And whereas Asian American and Pacific Islander communities represent diverse cultures, languages, and traditions, and have made significant contributions to the cultural tapestry of our nation, whereas it is essential to recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders to promote understanding, appreciation, and respect for their heritage and culture. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Robla School District encourages schools within the district to observe Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month by organizing educational activities, events, awareness, appreciation, and understanding of Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage and culture. Bus Drivers Day recognition. This is resolution number 907. Whereas annually on the fourth Tuesday of April, the people of California officially recognize all school bus drivers for their continued and excellent services to the youth of the state. And these drivers are deserving of special public recognition and highest recommendations, or highest commendations. And whereas these services provided by school bus drivers in the Robla School District is a service that is essential to the community that is served by the school district, and it helps ensure that students in our community are able to attend school each day. And whereas the safety of our students rests in the hands of our trained school bus drivers, and whereas great amounts of personal time and energies for bus drivers, initial training, maintaining current licenses, skills, and knowledge of school bus laws through continuing education classes are expended by drivers. And whereas school bus drivers demonstrate patience and kindness towards students, parents, and school staff in performance of their duties. And whereas school bus drivers consistently demonstrate an awareness of and direct attention to the mechanical maintenance of the school bus and safety conditions of the school bus routes. And whereas school bus drivers perform their services for thousands and thousands of accident-free miles year after year, now therefore be it resolved that the Robla School District hereby issues this resolution in honor and recognition of April 23rd, 2024 as School Bus Drivers Day, and encourages all educational communities to honor and recognize these valuable contributions of our district bus drivers as we celebrate School Bus Drivers Day.
We do have certificates, so we want to definitely recognize our school bus drivers. Photo op too. Walter Ginther.
Okay, hold this
Let's
up.
go over here. Yeah.
Over here? Okay.
Most of us want our bellies behind the podium.
Or you just hide it behind the.
Thank you.
I can do it without my glasses.
I know what you were doing.
Eduardo Garcia. You just come stand to the front. Yeah, you turn around. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Gabriela Corres Figueroa. Did I say that right? Quiros. No, not okay. Quiros? Gabriela Quiros Figueroa. Yes? Okay.
I took that name off.
Thank you. Evelyn Murillo Torres. Brent Morris.
Thank you.
Sally Martinez. Kapil Prasad. Did I say that? I said Prasad? Kapil Prasad. That makes your name correctly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina Kennedy.
Chris isn't here.
No one else is here. Well, we want to recognize. And then Jessica Hearing. Right? You want a group of them? Do you guys want a group? Yes. Okay. Oh, Patty says yes. With
You have to
Patty.
mention our fearless leader.
I know. I said that.
You have to.
Patty Brown.
Walter, you may have to One's not enough. You're gonna need more than that. I'm off the clock, you can't tell me what to do. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. 3, 2, 1. Now, look what Pasta heard.
All right, now we're gonna present resolution 9908 in recognition of Administrative Professionals Day. Whereas the position of administrative professional is unique in the realm of organizational roles and responsibilities, and whereas the education profession, administrative professionals have contributed greatly to the overall welfare of the school system. Many times, the public's initial contact with the school system is through our administrative professionals. And whereas on a daily basis, our administrative professionals take great pride in using their numerous skills, which are rooted in human relations, communication, verbal presentations, technical knowledge, use of resources, and positive personal traits. And whereas the administrative professionals in the Robla School District are to be commended for the professional manner in which they perform their duties, they put forth every effort, individually and collectively, to assure that our educational system will continue to enjoy prosperity and success. And whereas without their wealth of knowledge and a keen awareness of procedure in the workplace, efficiency and effectiveness would drop dramatically. And whereas words seem inadequate to fully express our gratitude for the expertise and dedication of the district's administrative professionals, for their vital contributions and commitment to teamwork and their willingness to learn and accept new challenges and opportunities. Therefore, be it resolved that the Robla School District hereby issues this resolution in honor and recognition of April 24th, 2024 as Administrative Professionals Day, and encourages all educational communities to honor and recognize the valuable contributions of our district as we celebrate Administrative Professionals Day.
I know we're not supposed to do that, but I do that all the time. So we only have 2 present today, and they're both from one school. So, but I'm going to honor you individually and then together. So Maria Castellanos. Did I do it right? Okay. Thank you. And Lydia Hager. Hager? Did I say it wrong? Hagar. No, it's important. Lydia Hagar.
Just real quick before we move on, for both our administrative professionals and for our school bus drivers, I just want to say, these resolutions are, they mean a lot to us. We recognize that in many cases, you are the first face, you're the face of the community of this school district, and you represent us well. So we get plenty of compliments, and, we get those compliments because, as the first contact, you, like I said, you represent us well, so thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start presentations. If you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome to stay, but, you're not required to.
4 a.m. comes early.
We get up at 4 a.m. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It wasn't on. I guess I was getting picked up by Mike. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, we're gonna go ahead and move on to presentations and information. We'll start with facilities update.
Good evening, President De Luz, Board Member Cardona, Superintendent Chen. Not a video, it has a lot more here. That I will present. He's out sick, he's sick today. So I will do the presentation. However, CFW did a presentation, just here talking about it. As a reminder, we have, as of this point, the district has 3 main projects working on it, and that is the Bell Avenue Preschool Kindergarten project, the Bell Avenue Cafeteria, the Central Kitchen, and the Main Avenue Preschool, TK, and kindergartner. So regarding the Bell Avenue Preschool, we will be back on Monday to request your approval for the guarantee maximum price. And then after that, we will go to the next steps about the planning. So we are very close to start the ground. Regarding the Central Kitchen, we interviewed the architects as a team, 4 members from the district, including Superintendent Chen and Erica Lee and Mark Langley, and the staff from CFW interviewed the architects. So we will also request your approval during the May meeting. There's a lot more information there, but those are the key points. And Main Avenue Preschool TK Kindergarten. Again, we interviewed 3 architect firms, and it was again in the combination of the district staff in CFW, and we will request your approval during the May meeting regarding for the architects. So these 2 projects are very close. So one is more advanced, and those 2 are very close. And so we will be very busy, and that's about it. Any questions regarding that? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Monday, yeah.
All right, we move on to item B, charter school update. Marconi,
Good evening, Superintendent and Board. Thank you for having us this evening. Lorna Garces, the principal at Marconi. I'll share some updates of our program. I'm going to go to the, oh, I got control of it. Just program overviews, just a recap over a personalized learning program. We offer one-on-one support, a flexible scheduling, an independent studies program, so our students have the flexibility to come in a couple days out of the week to receive that one-on-one support with our students. We service students and continue to service students ages 14 to 24 years old. Students have the option of also doing, in addition to the independent studies work, small group instruction. And so they'll do that with a cohort of students if they choose to be a part of the classroom. SGI is what we call that. And then through dual enrollment opportunities that we offer to our students, students can have the option of taking dual enrollment courses as well as earning high school elective credits in that process. There's CTE pathways, but also workforce innovation partnerships are WIOA partners. We partner with Greater Sacramento Urban League, North State Building Industry, so our students have the opportunity to be included in workforce training agencies and internship opportunities that are also paid, which are really nice. And this is our current enrollment. We are at 447 and growing. Just this past year in July, we were at 307, and so we've grown over 100 students, which is amazing. Our small but mighty school continues to grow. 447, we are 37 staff and just hired 3 more, so we just hit 40 staff total. And from when I started about 8.5 years ago, we had 5 students and only 7 staff. And so here we are 8.5 years later with so many students as well as staff, and we'll continue to grow. And then there's a brief demographics of our students. Hispanic, our largest population, and then African Americans second behind that.
Where do students largely come from? Are they, in terms of how many of the students that you serve actually come from our community?
So there's a few in the Robla School District. Most of our students are Twin Rivers, San Juan, Natomas. We have some in South Sac, very few out in further Elk Grove area, but most of our students live in the, whether it is Natomas, this area, Del Paso, North Highlands, and these areas, yes. Mm-hmm. We continue to do community outreach. Our amazing community liaison, Kathy Obachek, is here with us, and she continues to reach out and promote our program. And then here's just demographics of the of our students. So most of our students require credit recovery. A lot of our students are half a semester or a year or so behind, and so oftentimes their goal is to recover credits with us, and some may return back to the traditional school or stay and graduate with us. And a majority of them are socioeconomically disadvantaged. We have students that are foster, homeless, teen parents, previously incarcerated. So, often there's many barriers that we help to eliminate as they come to us. And sometimes we have to address their social emotional needs before potentially getting into the groove of their academics. And then most of our students, again, they're about a semester or a year behind, but also their reading and their math levels are about 5th to 6th grade level. So we're offering those remedial courses to get them caught up, building their skills, but also getting them to the graduation finish line. And then there's also students who prefer the independent studies model compared to the traditional school. Some students transfer to us because, whether they have anxiety or bullying at their previous school or want to be at a smaller setting. And so they'll choose to come to our program. And then we've also had students who come to us and want to, they'll start with us as a freshman and potentially graduate early. We've had students who have graduated in 3.5 years as opposed to the full 4 years. So we have a range of students from credit recovery, but also those who want to graduate early. And then just a brief snapshot of our academics. So currently we're in state testing, I think as all of the schools are right now, doing our CASP testing for our 11th graders in ELA and math, and then our CASP testing for our 12th graders doing science, and then our LPAC, which is all of our EL students who are doing the state testing right now. And I'm happy to share that we are well on our way to nearly 100% participation. We have a few students who still need to do the LPAC testing. As they continue to enroll, we'll do the test. And then our internal testing is our NWEA. That's our assessments that we provide twice a year, one in the fall and then again in the spring. We just finished our spring NWEA, which is a slight decrease in reading. It's about an 11% decrease, and then a slight decrease in math at 9% compared to the fall NWEA. A factor in that is potentially the enrollment that increased over 100 kids in that time frame. And so, we'll continue to focus and have our students take English classes as well as math classes. And then our LPAC results from last year, 19% of our students scored in a level 4 in proficiency. And so of those students, 95% of those students were reclassified because we were able to get them completing their English course as well as scoring at 215 in their NWEA scores. And then last year's CASP test, 37% of our students met or exceeded an ELA. We're happy to share that this is an increase of 10% compared to last year. And so our team was excited to and happy to see the increase of that. And although we did not meet our math tests, we had about 18% of them nearly met, and we'll continue to work with our students to make sure that they are in English and math courses throughout the year in preparation for these state tests. And then our average credit completion is 3 credits per learning period. Ideally, we would like to see our students at 4 credits or more to get caught up to grade level and to graduate on time. So we continue to work on engaging our students into their academics. Again, sometimes we have to help them with their socio-emotional aspects or personal challenges that they may be facing outside of school. And then our graduation rate from last year, based off our 1-year cohort, was 95%. Right now, our seniors are working hard to finish and meet the grad deadline, which is exactly 3 weeks from now. Our school counselor sends out weekly countdowns as in preparation for the graduation, and so they are working hard. We got some procrastinators, but we know that they will get there, and so we anticipate our graduation rate to be exactly the same, if not higher than this. And then school events, just some upcoming things that is happening for the rest of the year. We have our community resource fair. That is on April 25th. Next week, and so that's open to the entire community. And so the intent of this is to offer resources to our families, our students and families, but we've also opened up to the community. And we have a food truck. Is the 24th? Sorry, a typo on that. It's supposed to be on the 24th. But we also have food truck available as well, and that's also always a way to get our families in free food. We all love that, and so we've seen that usually when we pair our events with food and food that everyone likes, we'll see participation increase in that. And then Shaver Lake, our students just came back from a camping trip. Shaver Lake is down in Fresno, and that's part of our trip with our sister schools in Fresno. And so they just got back actually today. And so part of that trip was learning social emotional strategies, social skills, team building, communication. And so I was just chatting with some of the teachers, and some of them were very quiet, were opening up and coming out of their shell. So that goes beyond the books, the textbooks of Chromebooks and all of that, seeing that those experiences that we provide to our students. And then we have parent-teacher conferences coming up in the next couple of weeks. Our program is year-round, and so we do conferences twice a year in preparation for the next school year, informing our parents about the courses that the students should be taking into the next school year. And then prom is a great event that we have coming up. We haven't had prom probably prior to COVID, and many of our students have been asking about it. And so we're excited that students will be able to attend that, and the stipulation on that is to make sure they're earning at least 2 credits per learning period to be able to attend prom. And so that's happening for us. Many of our students may have transferred back to their traditional school because of events, and because we're a small school, we try to have more events for our students. And they have said that they want to go to a normal school, but I said we all also are normal. And so creating these opportunities for our students and non-academics is always a great plus for our kids. And then we have graduation that's happening on May 31st. Would like to also extend the invite. I'll send the invitation to Ramon to pass that along to you all if you are available and would like to attend. So that's happening. And then our Expanded Learning Opportunities program, that is our summer program. Students in the community, whether they are enrolled at Marconi or a non-Marconi student, they have the opportunity to take a summer course with us, 1 or 2 courses, and then complete a course and then return back to their traditional school if they choose to do 1 course or 2 with us. And then, as I mentioned, our outreach, our community liaison continues to do presentations, connects with our school counselors in the community. We invite often many educators to our learning center to tour our site, but also to learn more about our program. And then, this is just a brief snapshot of the journey of our students as they enroll with us. From the moment they enroll, we provide them with all the support and resources they need, from assigning them a supervising teacher, equipping them with the tech equipment, laptop, hotspots, whatever they may need, courses, and then counseling services if that's needed, meals. We have snacks and lunches at our school. And also we partner with Sacramento Food Bank on a monthly basis. They deliver non-perishable meals that our families are always welcome to come in and pick up throughout the month. And then also a diaper program as well. We, in partnership with Sacramento Family Services, they send over diapers, and families are welcome to that as well, and our teen parents. Tutoring services as well, that's happening throughout the day in our learning center, but also we offer evening support to virtual tutoring hours to our students. And then in the last couple years, we offered Saturday school for some of our students who might be, working, have adult responsibilities during the weekday and are not able to attend Monday through Friday. Saturday school is an option for our students. And then at the end of it, graduation, and part of our tradition at Learn for Life and all of our Learn for Life schools, as well as Marconi, when they turn in their last credit, we ring the bell and recognize them for their completing their high school graduation requirements. And then here's just a snapshot and some few photos. Our students recently went on a college tour to ARC and UC Davis. We do college tours once or twice a year, and then this time around, just a couple months ago, was at ARC. And then also we have, I'm happy to share that we started a sports program. This is also something that many of our students have been asking. Last year we started basketball, and then just this past fall we started soccer. And so there's a soccer league with other charter schools that we played against, and it was such a success. And then also to the right, you can see our new mascot, the Marconi Monarchs. As a vote from entire school community, we voted on our Monarchs mascot. And then just a few photos of to the left here, the mayor came to visit our site in the fall and gave him a tour of our school, shared information about our program. And then on the right side is family nights events that we have for our students, engaging them with non-academics. And our goal is to continue to involve our parents in our school community, engage them in their academics. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you all for your ongoing support. Without you guys, we would not be in existence and continuing to serve our students. So we continue and to do this year after year with your partnership. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you so much.
More comments. One, thank you for all that you do. When you guys first came to us, you had great plans. It's really nice to see that it is everything is going as planned, or at least it appears to be. So congratulations on that. A couple of things that I would like to encourage you to do. We do a number, while we recognize even when we approved it that chances are there are going to be students, and probably mostly going to be students that are out from outside of our community that are going to be attending there. But if we could encourage you to participate when there are community events, when there are particular resource events here in Robla, would like to encourage you to make an extra effort to come on out and be a part, so that our community knows
knows that you're here and knows that about the resources that you can provide. And then finally, I noticed we don't have a link to their website on our website, so we need to fix that.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we can connect with Ramon on all of the events that you guys have in the throughout the year, and then vice versa, share some of those resources for
And would really appreciate it. We'd really appreciate giving us an update on an annual basis. That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, now we have Paseo Grande.
All right. Good evening, Superintendent and board members. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jenna Eunice. I'm the principal at Paseo Grande, and this is Lindsay Reese. She's our superintendent.
Hi.
It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to meet you all. Just a little bit of history. So myself and Lindsay kind of came to Paseo Grande July 1st of this past school year. So this has been our first year in leadership for both of us. And a lot of changes to the way that the charter has kind of operated in the past. So you can see we have a new logo, and I want to explain too. It says an Elevate Online School. So Paseo Grande is one of 3 schools who operate 100% virtual. And similar to the Learn for Life brand, Elevate is the umbrella brand of the
online schools.
The online schools and
in our partner. So just to go back, not to fall too far down the rabbit hole, Lifelong Learning Administration Corporation provides the back office vendor services for us. Originally, Paseo and our other online schools were a part of Learn for Life, but what we realized was there was a need to separate the programs and identity, because parents that are seeking a virtual learning program are different than parents that are seeking a program like Marconi that's more hybrid. And we wanted to be able to market them separately, to be able to share the distinctions between the 2 programs. And specifically for the online schools, we wanted to be able to group them under a single umbrella to help with sharing marketing costs and other things. So it's still Paseo Grande, but it's under the Elevate model of curriculum and program philosophy.
Got it.
So you can see our student learning outcomes there. Those are new this year as well. Growth, resilience, interdependence, and transformation are what we hope our students have by the time they graduate. And that's nested under the GRIT, under GRIT as an acronym. So just a little bit about our team. Lindsay and I at the helm. We have 4 full-time teachers, a full-time special education case manager, a community liaison who is employed under the Community Schools Partnership Grant, a full-time tutor, a full-time special education paraprofessional, and then we share a school counselor, an EL program specialist, an EL para, SPED program specialist, and retention specialist as part-time employees. So some changes this school year. New faces, a couple of new staff. We did adopt 2 teachers who came actually from Marconi and wanted to teach online, and so we're happy to have them. We also adopted a new curriculum learning management system, and students transitioned back to fully virtual instruction. So they do not come to a school site for their instruction. They work 100% online, as do their teachers and support staff. We also opened up the middle school grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and we've had great growth in middle school this year. So we're serving students in grades 6 through 12 and students who are 11 to 24 years of age. So there is a video that I can make sure that the board and the superintendent receives, but just an overview of the learning management system. It's called Strong Mind, and we chose Strong Mind after we went through a selection process for what we thought was better engagement. I mean, after all, if we're going to be an online school and students are going to be learning online, they should have, an engaging learning management system. Easier LMS navigation. So LMS is like the interface of where students interact and see the menu for their coursework and their classes. More customizability. So we recognize that we serve a special population of students. We are a DAS school, so Dashboard Alternative School status school, and our teachers need to be able to provide differentiated instruction and scaffolds and build those into the infrastructure of the online program. It also provided more reporting functionality. So as an administrative team, we have more oversight of the team and grades, et cetera, and excellent customer support. You can see here our enrollment growth, which is much like Marconi. We started with 89 students in July, and we are currently at 160 students as of April 9th. So a lot of growth. It's been really fun.
And we believe much of that growth has to do with diversifying our outreach. So we're really focused on serving the greater Sacramento area. Marconi kind of serves in the middle of the hub. We don't want to compete with Marconi. We don't want to compete with our authorizing district. So we're really looking to kind of support kids that are in more rural areas, more remote areas. So we changed up our marketing strategy. We have more social media geo-targeted strategies that we're using to reach families that are in more rural areas that are looking for education alternatives.
And who maybe have a harder time traveling or with transportation to, schools and programs nearby. For demographics, nothing here too noteworthy. We are about 30% Latino, Hispanic, about 30% Black, 30% white, pretty evenly spread. Our middle school population about 8%, and then our 19 plus population 20%. So we do serve students through the Workforce Opportunity Program, and our special education population is also high, between 18 and 20%. And we've noticed a lot of special education referrals this past school year. Our EL population is about 10% and tends to stay pretty close to that. Some key metrics you'll see on the top row in bold in the white square is our 23-24 year to date, and then underneath is the comparison below. So our attendance dipped a little bit this school year, which I think was attributed to the acclimation of students learning online. We've had great feedback from students and parents who really like the online interface. They've said it is engaging. There was a learning curve for those students to kind of engage with that, but you can see the average credit completion went up more than one full credit over the past just 10 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
So we are seeing that students are more engaged. Our dropout rate is roughly the same as it was last year. Our retention rate about the same. We had 9 graduates to date. Last year we had 8 graduates for the full year, so we're anticipating we'll graduate more students. And last year we graduated 100% of those students who were supposed to graduate. So our DAS rate was 100%. Some other notables, or just to answer any questions you might have in your minds. Our EL reclassification is a TBD. We haven't had enough EL students in the past few years to receive a dashboard status. We do have a college and career coursework requirement, and we have more students who have gone through that requirement this year than in past years. All of our teachers are highly qualified and assigned, and you can see some of our metrics for our reading lexile, for our benchmark, have improved. Notably, the students with disabilities went up about 100 points. The others have roughly stayed the same as far as reading goes. And then in math, our all student group increased about 150 points, give or take. Our EL student group went up, our students with disabilities group went up, and our SED group went up as well. We have seen this trend with math, and we are, investigating what's going on. I know one of the theories we have is we have largely recovered from COVID as far as the learning recovery. Our reading scores are about where they were before, but I think that media has changed so much since COVID, and people are consuming and taking media in so many different ways. Math is math. Math hasn't changed much, but I've noticed with my own children and what I've observed with our students, they're reading less, or they're less inclined to really critically dig into the text and closely read. So definitely reading and literacy is a focus for us as we move forward. Just a couple of financial updates. We have great news, actually. Our original budgeted ADA was 88.17. At our P2 mark in March, we were at 100.86. But the better news is that last year, the budget reserve was negative 20%. And this year, we are out of the red. So we're at a very small but mighty 1.5%. And we anticipate continued growth. Of course, we want to be, build a reserve between 5 and 20%, and we hope that we're well on our way to doing that. As far as student engagement, for our annual climate survey, to summarize, 100% of our respondents said that they felt extremely safe or quite safe. 92% of respondents felt somewhat, quite, somewhat, or extremely connected, and 98% said they felt engaged. We do have live chat tutor access for our students, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We have interactive whiteboards. That's some of what you see there. We have appointment links for tutors, advisors, teachers, and counselors. Teachers have open office hours every day, same time, same place, same link. So we provide that consistency for our students and parents to know where they can find us. We also offer one-on-one academic advising, and all of our advisors are trained in EDGE Foundation executive function coaching through the EDGE Foundation. And so they work through a cycle of 5 different types of questions to allow students to solve their own problems or become more metacognitive of their own struggles and challenges. And then there's a follow-up piece to that. So they're supposed to be meeting with students weekly and going through that cycle. We also offer college and career and SEL workshops online, including a middle school social hour that's become quite popular, which is a place where students can kind of chill. A couple of student success stories for you. I won't read all of these, but there's one comment from a parent advisory committee member who shared that Strong Mind has a calendar and to-do list and has really helped kind of structure her son's schoolwork. We have another student who is in or had been in a recovery center with some mental health issues, who is just really thriving in the program, and he's one of our success stories. And so yes, again, as my colleague mentioned, we couldn't do this without you. We've had a lot of big changes this year. We know we have a lot of work to do, and we're hoping that we can update you at least annually and see you more often and just, grow a great program. So
Can
thank
we
you
answer
very
any
much.
questions for you?
Questions? Pretty much answered them all. Thank you so much.
And we're happy to
time.
provide any additional information. If you think of anything in follow-up, anything that you would like to learn more about the program, we're happy to provide it.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask regarding the budget, because last year, that part of the big umbrella, workers as a whole, they were fine, like even though there was like a negative
Uh-huh.
in the defined Robla.
Oh, okay. Yes. We have safety nets in place for sure. Yeah, yes.
There you
And
go.
part of the startup of a new school, it's to be anticipated. You have to hire, you have staff to serve the incoming students, and it results in a deficit. But now we're in the positive, so that's good.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to English Learner Services update.
Good evening, everyone. I too am fighting the lovely bug that's going around, so hopefully I won't end up in a coughing fit here. But good evening, as I said, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an update on what's happening with our English learner services in the district. What does our population look like? What are some of the challenges we're facing? How have we been doing in terms of academics in the big picture, like the dashboard, all the way down to more of a local level? So again, our English learners are determined by, first they fill out a home language survey, which informs us whether or not we should be assessing them to see if perhaps they need English learner services. That's the initial LPAC. And then, as Marconi stated, we're in the middle of the summative LPAC administration, which is the annual test. And we need to finish by May 30th, and we're about 82% of the way done. So we're coming right along. We're also giving the alternate LPAC for any students that are SPED students that are in that top 1 percentile that, if, for example, if they qualify for the California Modified Assessment instead of the CASP, then they qualify for the alternate LPAC as well. So enrollment by language really hasn't changed much at all. This is district-wide. This has stayed pretty consistent. Where we've seen a lot of the changes actually in our Russian numbers have increased quite a bit, as well as in that other category. And then with our Spanish students, and I'm going to talk about this increase in some of these areas, we generally would have Spanish students that came from Mexico, but we're having a lot more Spanish students that are coming from South American countries and Central American countries as well. So the population of that Spanish speaking demographic is changing. So when we look at languages by school, again, this hasn't changed very much. As you can see that Glenwood is the one with the highest percentage of students that are have English as a second language, majority of those being Spanish speaking, and then it goes across Glenwood, Bell, Taylor, Robla, then Maine. We have 19 languages spoken in the district. This has stayed pretty consistent as well. So it's kind of interesting when you're looking at the data at a broad picture, you're like, oh, nothing's changed. But then when you look at it a little bit closer, the numbers of these other languages has increased. When we look at the California School Dashboard for 2023, our English learner progress indicator is our indicator in the green. The English Learner Progress Indicator is an accumulation of students who have gone up a level on the LPAC, as well as reclassified students. And as I said, we're up in the green area. And it's broken down by these categories. So you actually don't have to go from a 1 to a 2. You can go from a 1 to a low 2, or a low 2 to a high 2 to show progress. So the state recognizes that it takes about 7 years to learn a language. So though there are 4 levels, we give that opportunity for those extended 6 years of trying to reach level 4, which is the ultimate goal. Yep, I'm back. If we take a little closer look, this is looking at our English learner group in the area of English language arts. So our current English learners are students who are currently still identified as English learners, so they're taking the summative LPAC. And then we have our reclassified group, and then you can see in compared to our English only group. So even though we're making this great progress in teaching them English, we're still seeing that we have work to do in ensuring that they're getting the progress that they should be getting in English language arts. This is hard sometimes to look at from 1 year to the next because your demographics kind of changes sometimes from 1 year to the next. The fact that we went down and we had a small growth of newcomers in 23, and here we've had a larger growth in 23-24, makes me a little bit nervous as how this is going to be. However, newcomers, if they've been in school for less than 12 months, do not have to take the English language arts portion of the CASP. So the kids that are included here have been here over 12 months, or in school over 12 months. In mathematics, again, we can see a comparison from our current English learners, those that are reclassified, and then our English only. And look at that reclassified group. They're doing great.
Those students who haven't been with us for a year, I recognize they don't have to take the CASP. What do we do to, I'm assuming we do some sort of benchmark assessment so we determine where they are and what their progress has been, at least during that first year, right?
Yeah, so they still participate in all of our regular benchmark assessments, our local assessments that we do. So, for example, the STAR reading is one of the assessments that we do. They do our benchmark math assessments. So all the local assessments they still participate in.
Okay.
Participate in the CASP math. So even if they've only been here 3 or 4 months, we do have them participate in the CASP math, or the state has them participate in the CASP math. For some of the students, we can put on, for example, the Spanish language translation of the directions. Historically, we haven't done that for very many students because you have to really determine that it's going to benefit them and not kind of distract them, that they're actually going to be able to use that, because it shouldn't be something that they're not receiving during the school day. So we have more resources, especially since we added the dual immersion program. We have more resources to be able to give instruction with the directions in math, not just having them meet with the BCOA once or twice a week, but actually being able to have it on paper. So and just technology, the new advances make things easier. So we do have a number who will be taking the math with the Spanish language translation turned on. These are the level descriptors. And I bring this to attention because we're going to take a look at our demographics a little bit. One is the area where students need the most support, where they have the least understanding of the English language, and they're going to need the most support in just daily survival, as well as just comprehending what's happening in the classroom. 4 is our ultimate goal. That's where if they receive the level 4 and then they're at grade level, level 3 on the CASP for ELA, teacher recommendation and parent consultation, we can reclassify them. So here we go. This is what's called a composite score. So this is last year's LPAC. The oral language composite score is your listening and speaking. They combine those together. And then your reading and writing are in your written language score. And so it's oral language is your understanding, where more of your input, where your written language score is your production. You have to be able to really read to understand, and you have to be able to write. So as you can see, this is the area that the students struggle in the most. Down at the bottom, I have it for 3rd grade and 4th grade. And what you see is that the number of 3rd graders that are still in level 1 or level 2 is, and this is, I'm excuse 3rd grade, sorry, I had a mind blip, is 74% of the students. So at 3rd grade, 74% of the students are at level 1, meaning they really can't even write full complete.
Do we know percentage of those are new students to the district? Or have been with us for maybe only a year?
No, I don't. I have to think about how I can extract that data out. And then of our 4th graders.
I asked that because, I realize, especially with the transient community, like we tend to have students who come and go, we can't necessarily be responsible for where they start off.
Exactly.
But we can be responsible for how they progress. And so knowing where they are, knowing that if that number is relatively high because they're coming in, a lot of students are coming in that situation, then the question is, the most important thing to me is how quickly are we moving them? How quickly are we moving them along?
Well, what we do know, though, is that, I think it's my next slide, we have 756 English learners in the district, and only 89 of those, which is high for us, are newcomers, are students that have been here. So this number being, how do I go backwards? There we go. Being so high at, over 74%, that's just 3rd grade. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong button there. That's just 3rd grade. So the number of kids that are in 3rd grade, that's not going to be a huge percentage.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
So I was brought forward here so we currently have about 756 current English learners, which is about 39% of our population, which means those are students receiving services. Our district is counted as having 837 because they still count reclassified students as part of that English learner group for 4 years, past the time they're reclassified. Of those 756 students, 89 of them, as of earlier this week, are in that newcomer category, meaning they've been here less than a year. And that's about 12%. We used to sit more like 4%, 5%. Sometimes we'd be up at 6%, but we've pretty much doubled in the number of that. And the thing that's hard too for our teachers is that, it was 89 when I was in there, but we could get 3 newcomers tomorrow and we could lose 2 the day after. It's a moving population because it's a population that's just coming into the country and trying to get a foothold, and they may be staying with a friend that's giving a place to be while they get themselves situated, and then they find a place in the district. So what are we doing to support our students? We have 2 ways that we offer English language development: designated ELD, which is specifically time set aside every single day, just focusing on learning the English language, how the English language works, what syntax is, how to make a sentence structure. We kind of call it the brick and mortar words. So not just vocabulary, but then how do you take that vocabulary and put all the words around it to make a really complete sentence? And then we have to work on expanding that so that you're not just using basic colors to describe something, but how do we teach them even more language so that they can expand their knowledge base as well as be able to understand more as they go up into the grades. Integrated ELD is when we're teaching the core material. So I might be teaching math, but at that same time, I also need to pay attention that I might need to give a little mini language lesson to help the student understand the math concepts and the math language that's being used. We have a number of supports in the district with such a high population. We're very fortunate that we have English learner support teachers, one at every school site. I'm very fortunate in that these teachers are veteran teachers, have been doing this for a number of years. I think Gurpreet is the only one that came on new after me, and she's been here a long time too. So, you know, they have a lot of experience, which is really helpful, and it really helps to build a program at the school sites. We also have our PLSTs, which originally the PLSTs were brought on as for the purpose of supporting English learners. So they have a nice strong base in how to support English learners. Our bilingual community outreach assistants, again, a veteran group who are awesome. The community knows them well, the community trusts them well. And at my parent meetings, that's the community that shows up. It's great. We have multilingual classroom and library materials that we purchase every year. We try to add to it, especially at Glenwood. We're trying to really build that library as the dual language program is built up. Right now, I'm trying to find additional materials in other languages, which is very challenging. And one of the things that the Sac Public Library shared with us is that a lot of publishers aren't publishing it. It's all e-materials because it just, in order for it to be quality, they're going to using e-materials. So we do have a partnership, as you know, with the Sac Public Libraries, and she shared with the schools and the teachers at the time that this is, you know, where you're going to find a good majority of when you're trying to find something in another language. Our extended library hours, and we have just been successful in acquiring Chromebooks for those libraries. So we have 5 Chromebooks that are for parent use only. So our parents can come into the library, they can put in the language they need to in Google, and they can do what they need to do so that they have access to a computer. And then we have 5 that we are, EL teachers are working with, the EL teachers are checking out 2 newcomer students through the libraries so that we can track them. When we made this order, we were more like 40 newcomers, so we're already need more new Chromebooks for the newcomer families. They just don't have enough at some of the school sites. We have 81 classrooms total, if you count all of our classrooms in the district, TK through 6 and SPED. So potentially we could have a newcomer in every classroom. So some classrooms are seeing large numbers, some might not have one, or they have one for a month or 2 and then it's gone, and then they have a new one. They're seeing more languages coming in. So this is one of the challenges. Oops, I did it again. This is one of the challenges that our classroom teachers are facing is they're used to working with English learners. They're not used to working with this number of newcomers coming in with this many different backgrounds, different needs. You know, some of them have come from multiple countries just to get here. So it's just a new environment. And so we're really trying to work on more professional learning for the teachers on how they can support this population, as well as continue to support the other part of our EL students as well. And I think that's about it.
Any questions? Definitely a thorough presentation as always. Thank you so much. Okay, and with that, we have reached the end of our. Oh, wait, we got one more thing. Any requests for additional board member requests for additional agenda items or reports? And I don't have anything. So with that, our meeting is adjourned.